Okay, so this is Matrix Gold. You can see we kind of streamlined the user interface, kind of simplified things. One of the main drawbacks to our Matrix software was, how confusing it all was. I can, as a new user, I came into Matrix 6.3, I believe, and there were, so many buttons all over the place and so many, toggles, and honestly, it was overwhelming. So we kind of took the new user into consideration and streamlined it, made it more simplified and more linear of a build style. So you guys are probably familiar with the recent commands and quick commands in Matrix, but we also have project actions. This will be where your job bags live, and also where our content manager lives. So this will be, a list of your job bags. You can select, some of the job bags I've done previously, and you can import them. But it also has a collections. So this is where the library for Matrix Gold will live. We are, constantly adding additional content, but for the meantime, this is the content we have. So you can go through all the different ones. We have, bands. We have cathedrals, as I showed you guys. We have multi-stone. So this is, it's not going to get you all the way to a finished model, but it'll get you a great starting point. And we also have pendants. We have halo pendants. We have earrings and such. So it's a pretty vast, and hopefully it'll even get larger. The next one is layers. If you're familiar with any sort of Rhino, software, the layers will. It's how you. It's how you kind of organize your model. I like to build on the metals. All my curves go on the objects. All my gems go on the gems. It's just an easy way of organizing your model. The next one we have is display modes. So this will, let me pull something in. Okay, so display modes will change your viewport. So let's say they wanted to see a render, or you wanted to build in a render view. You can select that, and it'll show you it'll change your viewport to kind of match. Let's say you wanted a ghost view to kind of see through booleans. This will kind of show you. I like to build in plastic just because it's what I'm kind of used to. So, but they also have ray trace render. The white. I forget what this one's called. Tech white. So the next one we're going to get into is called dynamic command. So a dynamic command is something new that we implemented in our Matrix Gold software. It is denoted by all the blue lightning bolts. So these are all the commands that we've made that have, that elaborate history built into it. You can filter them by selecting the top right, the little lightning bolt, and it'll filter all of them. This is what will give you the ability to, kind of flex your model and adjust it without having to redraw. So yeah, up here we have, similar to what Matrix and Rhino Gold customers are used to, a menu. This one's pretty cool because you can slide it to the right and left by just hovering your mouse. But we have the surface, the solid, you know, tools, which is pretty much where you'll start each build. And everything is adjustable. So let's say you want, the rope to be first, right? You can move it on over. Let's say you want to add something to quick commands. Well, you can take object on surface, pull it, and now it's in the quick commands. Something else I'll kind of touch on is the whole UI is pretty much adjustable. We ran with the fact that not everybody likes it the same way, so you can either zoom in if you want it really small in a bigger build window, or you can zoom in if your eyes are hard of seeing. I like to keep it right at 110. I think that's probably the best for me. But yeah, you can further customize here in the preferences. So okay, so now we're going to get into the conversions. So this is a ring I built in Matrix 9. And we'll kind of go through how I built it and stuff like that. And then I will show you guys how I would build it in Matrix Gold, and we'll even see if maybe it'll save us some time and, you know, ultimately money. So, okay. So, I'm gonna play this video. I had to pre-record it just because it, you know, takes a little bit longer to build in Matrix. So I'll go ahead and play. If you guys have questions, I'll pause the video, get into it, and then I'll hop on over to Matrix Gold, okay? Okay, so I kind of sped it up. So this is Matrix 9 for those that aren't familiar. What I'm doing is putting a ring rail and an outside ring rail to kind of give me a shape of a ring. So now I'm building a cathedral. So I really just need one side and then I'll mirror it over. So now I just rebuilt it to have less points, and I'm going to pull the points to line it up with the finger size, right? So there's multiple ways to kind of accomplish this. This is the most efficient way I found. Others may have, you know, different ways, but as the old saying goes, there's multiple ways to skin a cat, right? So now I was just tapering it. I like a natural kind of taper. So mirrored it over. I'm going to trim out that and blend the curve and join it. And then I'll do the same for the outside curve. So you can see I have a nice cathedral shape. So now I'm going to put a oval stone and bring it in place. And then I'm going to put profiles on those ring rails and sweep them, right? So as I said, I kind of want to taper, so I'm going to use 3 different profiles and kind of taper it up. And now I need to mirror them over to the other side to complete it, right? So I'm going to sweep 2, select my profiles, and complete the sweep. And you can see I have a nice taper. It's great because I have back-facing surfaces, but once you join it, they will go away. Okay, so I want to taper in height a little bit, so I'm gonna pull this up. There we go. And then I'm going to profile cap and join them into one surface, right? So now I need a bridge. So I'm going to put profiles for my bridge, get them the size I want, and then mirror them over, and then just complete the sweep. So now you can see a ring starting to take shape. So I sped this video up just for time purposes. I think I sped it up ×3, so it does take a lot longer than it seems. So next I ran the Halo builder. This is an automated builder inside Matrix that kind of completes a bunch of functions for you. So I'm just going to pull the viewport handles and, you know, get it to my liking. And now I'm going to head build the center. Pull up a style sheet and kind of pull it to a point. So then I'm going to make sure the head is functional and put a gallery rail at the bottom to sit on the finger. So just use the handles and pull it down in place. There we go. Pull it down a little bit more. Sorry, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Okay, so next I'm going to put stones on the side, kind of French set. So I'm going to taper them from bottom to about quarter of the way down and pull them into the surface. And now I need a channel, right? So I'm going to put a channel builder on it and make sure it's right. And then I'm gonna put micro prong cutters, right? These are the things that will do the little scallops on the shank. And then just using the viewport handles, just pull them in place. So then I need the middle cuts. Those of you who have done CAD design and these French set styles know you need to have middle cuts for the stone setters to push over the stone. So pulling those in place. And I will boolean in a second. So I'll boolean that side, and then I'm going to mirror it and boolean that side, right? Okay, so you guys can see right here, I put the total design time of this model, which is not a very complicated model, but it is something common, right? Is 13 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'm going to finish it, mirror that over, and now you can see I have a finished model. So one more thing I'll kind of add. In every other software, once I do these booleans and cuts, the model is essentially lost. It's no longer adjustable because the booleans break history. Okay, so with that in mind, we developed MatrixGold to be fully adjustable. So I'm going to hide this real quick, and I'm going to import my picture. I took a picture of the model in Matrix so I can use while building. Let's pull it in. We'll do picture and we'll go through view. And we'll line it up.
I will. How about I do this? I don't know to tell you that Friday we don't get it, I'm gonna give you a call back.
That's about close. I don't need to be exact, but just close. Can kind of go over to the right a bit more. 0.1. And that's pretty close. Let's go up 0.1 more. All right, so that's pretty close. Now let's check our finger size. So I did it at a finger size 7, right? So I need to scale it down a bit to match the finger rail. And let's pull it down a bit more and scale it. It's pretty close, but as I said, I'm a perfectionist. So now I have a finger size 7, right? It's the same size I built in Matrix, and I have it all matching. So I'm going to bring this timer up. Okay, so let's see how long it takes to build something like this in MatrixGold. All right, so I'm gonna start it. Move this off screen. Okay, so the easiest way to start this would be a Cathedral ring rail. So I can select that, and I can pull the viewport handles as I did in Matrix, except these kind of complete a builder for you. So I'm gonna get these kind of where I want them. Let's do something like that and kind of taper it just like I did in the Matrix model. 2. Let's do 2.2. And that's about close. So now I'm going to turn my bridge toggle on, so that'll complete the bridge for me, right? So now I have that. Let's hide this so we can see, right? So that's pretty close to what we did in Matrix, right? So now I'm going to show, and now I'm going to sweep and put profiles on these similar to what I did in Matrix, right? So let's put that. Let's select a different profile. And let's taper these. So let's do 1.5. And let's relate it to the outside curve. So now the top of the profile will follow that curve. So let's put one right there and one at the bottom. I'm going to go back to this one by selecting the little ball and then increase the size a bit. Let's go a little less. Let's go to 1.7. Then let's go down to the bottom one by clicking the ball and increase it to 2.0. So now I'm going to right click and I will do my sweep under the surface. Let's do sweep 2. Select my rails and then my profiles and right click. So you can see I have the surface. I'm going to go and oops, sorry, click the wrong button. Let's go under cap and turn the bottom cap off because I'm going to mirror it over to the other side. I'm going to maintain height and right click. So now I have a model of half the shank. So I'm going to mirror it over using the dynamic mirror and turn the y-axis on. And there we go. So now I need to complete the bridge, right? So let's go ahead and go to tools and we're going to put up another profile on the bridge, right? Let's do 1.4 by 1.5. So now I'm going to activate auto sweep. So that's a little toggle right here that will automatically sweep your curve on the rail that you chose, right? So now I need a stone, right? So let's go ahead, select a gem on ring rail, select the ring rail we want, and then pull it up to the 0.5, pull it up in place, and we will right click. So now I need a halo. So I'm going to select the stone, select the halo command, and pull the viewport handles how I want them. Let's reduce stone size a bit, and then we'll go up to level 2, which is the halo tab, and I can further adjust it, right? Let's change the outer, change the inner, and let's go back to level 1, and I'll pull it out a bit. And then pull it up to match. Let's make sure the height is good. It's 1.5, so that's good. Right click, and it builds it. So now let's put a head, right? Okay, so let's go to head, and it's going to auto-populate similar to Matrix, but here we can go ahead and reduce the stone count and then angle it in, kind of like we did. So that's pretty close. I'm going to reduce the above girdle height and then reduce the thickness to about 0.9. So let's go to level 2. So here for the first time in Gem Vision software, you can produce a set look. So I'm going to extrude the dome and then angle it over my stone, and it gives you that nice kind of set look. And it also opens up some more viewport handles, right? So you can come here and further adjust. I'm going to pull the base nudge in a bit, and that'll kind of give that pull to point look. So let's right click, accept. And now I need the gallery rail down here to sit on the finger. So I'm going to select the gallery rail command and just use the viewport handles to complete it. And there we go. Let's pull it up a bit like that. Okay, so now that we have the shape, I'm going to hide this. So let's now use this outside curve to put stones on. So I'm going to run a gem on curve and pull them down to where I want them. I'm also going to taper, kind of like we did on the end, right? I believe I did 1 millimeter to 0.8. Okay, so now let's go ahead and pull it up. And let's drop them into this surface like such. I'm going to go to wireframe so I can see. And let's pull them down into the surface. Make sure our stone spacing is good. And there we go. Let's pull the in position to a quarter of the way, or half on each side, and right click to accept. Okay. So now we need to do the booleans, right? So let's go ahead under the cutters and put a channel cut. Let's reduce the width, and I'm going to do a width of 0.45. I'll pull this up a bit and then extend the cap length. This just allows the last cut to make a prong. And I will make sure it's out of my surface, which it appears to be. Let's pull it up and right click. So now if I go to plastic, you can see I have a channel cut. So let's go back to wireframe, select our stones, and then put micro prong cutters. So I'm going to change the shape. I'm going to go to profile picker, select this one, and edit them. So I'm a big fan of pulling the viewport handles, but you can also pull the dynamic commands sliders as well. It's really about what you guys are used to. So let's increase the height and pull the cutter position down a bit. Make sure the width and the length are uniform. I need to increase the length a bit, so you can see the viewport handle capped out at 1.75, but you can come up here and do 2.25 and it'll extend them as well. So let's right click, let's grab those stones one more time, and I'll run the same command, except this time I'm going to toggle between gems. Let's go back to wireframe. So this is going to put the cutters between the gems. Let's do that. Let's reduce the width. Let's increase the length a bit as well. So let's do that one. Let's re-edit and change it to 2.25 as well. Let's go back to plastic and see how it looks. So these we're going to kick out of our surface a bit more. Make sure it's good. There we go. And let's right click. So we're going to select all of these, right? Probably should just right click my orange, and we're going to dynamically mirror them. So let's go to transform, and we're going to mirror. Let's select the Y. Let's try that one more time. Let's mirror. And there we go. So now we're going to Boolean, right? So let's go under solids, select Boolean, select our surfaces, and then we will select our cutters. So here we need to select a Boolean difference. And you can see it completed it. So let's go ahead and mirror these stones over, and we will finish our design. Let's turn Y on and turn X off. So let's bring this over, stop them. So 9 minutes. So let's do a calculator, right? So 13.5 minus 9. So that's 4 minutes and 5 seconds per design. Okay, so let's say you do 5 designs. Let's be modest and do 2 designs a day. Okay, times 365, 730 times 4.5 divided by 60. So that is 54 additional hours a year that you can put towards other stuff in your shop. That's pretty fascinating. And the best part, I hadn't even shown you guys. So the best part of this, everything that I did to this model was built with parametric history and using dynamic commands. So I can come here, select edit, and I can reduce the finger size. Wait, sorry, I forgot I built with this. So I can reduce the finger size and the whole model snaps. All right, so let's say your customer comes in and she wants more or less stones on the side. So let's pull less. Right click. The booleans automatically update. Let's say she likes the ring, but she wants a cushion. Let's edit, select cushion, and right click, and it's a cushion. The possibilities, honestly, are quite endless. You can adjust this model multiple ways. I like to call it flexing the model. So let's go to finger size 11. Right click. So you can see it added 3 additional stones. So let's hide that. And it automatically does the booleans for you. So I can even come here. You see how it opened up because the stone was still small. I can edit and pull the cathedral how I want. Right click and it automatically update. So that's the power of parametrics. As I said, the possibilities are pretty endless. I hope that there are a bunch of new commands, and as we go on our schedule of the webinars, I'll get into it. I'd like to do one model every Wednesday that kind of showcases different commands and tools. So with that being said, I'll open it up to questions.